right, this is a walkthrough of the Play the Changes app interface. At the top of the app, you'll see the backing track player. This is where you control what song is played behind each arrangement in the sequencer. The songs are divided into 3 tempos, slow, medium, and fast. When you select a tempo, you then come to this drop-down menu and pick one of the songs that are associated with each tempo. Whatever song you pick is going to have the information here at the bottom, the time signature, the key, and the beats per minute. Below that, you have the playback settings. This controls how many times this arrangement is going to play over and over again, and whether or not it plays with a turnaround or an ending. You can choose for it to loop indefinitely. That's mostly what I leave it set at. But say you wanted it to play once with a turnaround and then play an ending. You would just set the repetition to 2 and check the play ending box. Now this arrangement is going to play once with a turnaround, and then it's going to start over and it's going to play the same arrangement again, this time with an ending. This is the transport controls. You have a play and pause button. Right here is where you select the count in, whether you want a 1-bar count in, a 2-bar count in, or no count in. I usually leave it at 1 bar, and then you have a volume slider here that controls the overall volume of the app. Here we have the settings. You can turn the highlighting on and off. The highlighting is when each bar is played. There's a highlighter that shows you what bar we're currently on. For instance, here we go. We've got bar 1, bar 2, etc. So if for whatever reason you want to turn that off, this is where you would do it. Maybe your computer's lagging, or maybe it's out of sync and you can't figure it out. You can just turn it off and you'll know by ear what bar you're over. Below that, you have a button that resets all the settings to default. And then here we just have a message about local settings and where your preferences are stored. Right here is where we select what mode we're playing in. We have standard mode, which is kind of like your sandbox, where you can just pick whatever technique you want. You can just click on a bar and a little modal window opens up, and say you want to switch it to major, you can switch it to major. Say you want to switch all of them to major, you just click on it, etc. You can change it to whatever combination you want and practice it however you want. You can practice it with no music. You can practice it with music. You can practice it 10 times in a row with the same arrangement, etc. This button takes you back to the top, so you don't have to constantly scroll. And if you're up here and you want it to just start, you can just press spacebar and that'll scroll you back to the arrangement. You can load an arrangement the way that you like it. Say you had some already saved, or you can save one. We'll call this one demo for this purpose. I'm going to load one that is different. Now I'm going to load the demo version. Or you can randomize and just pick any old one. Let's go back to our demo version. Okay, then you got learning mode. And that's where we have our individual lessons. Top of learning mode, you have a browse all lessons button. You can browse all the lessons to jump around. If you're at the bottom of a lesson, you can pick the next one just by pressing next lesson. All right, dynamic mode is different in the sense that you cannot choose repetitions or play endings, because dynamic mode plays new 12-bar progressions arranged randomly over and over again as long as you're in dynamic mode. So as you learn in learning mode, you can come to this technique library in dynamic mode, and let's say you just finished mastering the minor pentatonic lesson. You can add that to your technique library. And as you go, you're just going to keep adding more techniques. And once you get to about 6 or 8 techniques that you've mastered, dynamic mode is going to be really fun, because now you can generate lots of different arrangements and really test yourself to see if you have them mastered. As you can see, in this arrangement, it's picked minor pentatonic for the first 2 bars and hybrid approach for the second 2 bars. Blue note. We got some Albert King bends. We got triplet phrasing in bar 9 and 10. Now you're going to be performing these techniques as you come to each square. And then at the bottom here, you're going to see we have a preview for the next 12 bars. So when you get to the turnaround, you know, okay, I got to be playing triplet phrasing next. And that's going to switch to bar 1 and 2 now. And it's going to persist down here until you get to about halfway through the cycle. And then it'll show you the next preview. That way, if you're still looking at the preview, it's not going to just instantly change on you. And then you got the player button that takes you to the top. And that is basically the gist of what everything does in the Play the Changes app.